Hi guys, and welcome to my first chess game analysis video on this channel. And to start off things with a bang, I decided to bring you with an amazing attacking game by none other than Emory Tate. Actually, Andrew Tate, really controversial personality nowadays, right? Actually, Andrew Tate's father. I discovered he was actually one of America's best players. He was an international master, rated 2400, about 2400, yeah. And he was actually a very interesting person. He helped advertise chess. He helped get a lot of people into chess and make their overall experiences better. Besides that, according to his son, he refused to study chess books and to use chess computers, which are just such an amazing tool, right? So, as you guys can guess, you're probably up to some game that I'm about to show you, right? Anyways, let's just get into this. Okay, so the game starts with d4. We have c5. The very common Sicilian defense, common throughout every chess level, really, from beginners that maybe want to transition to an intermediate level up to world champions playing this. It's a very versatile and flexible opening that basically revolves around preventing white from playing d4 as soon as possible with the move c5. Now in this position, white plays at knight f3, really trying to make this center nevertheless. Black replies with knight d6, with sorry d6, just opening the bishop's diagonal, keeping his options open really. White replies with d4. We have a trade in the center, knight f6, knight c3, and a6, which is the very common still in neither variation. It's a very common opening because it allows black to keep his options flexible again. Also, this a6 move not only prevents three pieces from coming to b5, these two knights and the bishop, but also maybe one day prepares b5 and the bishop comes to b7. We have some knight maneuvers. d6 in the perfect world, black plays d5. Now, this position, white goes with the so-called Lipnitsky attack. White early, it's a very early development for this bishop, but it does it nevertheless. We have bishop c4. Black shuts off his pressure to the king with d6, and we have bishop to b3 because in some lines black was threatening to take this pawn. White would recapture and then push d5 and regain a piece and maybe equalizing, getting an even better position sometimes, not actually now. But removing all this nonsense, Emory Tate plays bishop b3. Now we have knight b to d7, going with that maneuver I previously said. Now Emory Tate plays queen to e7, keeping his options flexible. And now Black proceeds with this plan, and Emory Tate finally reveals his intentions, plays d4. This pawn that was supposed to protect White's king suddenly has gone mad and is going to invade Black's position. Now, we have b5, just trying to get space in and maybe developing the bishop one day. Tate plays g5, kicking the knight, and I don't know, I think according to the database I saw, this was the first time this move was played in a tournament, in a Masters game. 1997. I'm not sure, but it's a very provocative move. He plays bishop to d5. Now, this is an amazing square for the bishop. With the very small con that it can be taken by a pawn. Now let's see. If black were to take and white were to take, this would be a tragedy because black simply plays queen e7 and forces a queen threat because the queen's the queens, both queens, but white's queen is pinned to its king. A trade is gonna occur, and white is just down a piece for nothing. So Tate's idea was to play knight c6, force the queen on this diagonal, because all these squares are taken. And after a move like queen b6, we have pawn takes d5, and king just has no moves. Knight and queen takes all of this. You cannot block with the bishop because you're getting mated. So you have to block. Let's say you block with this knight, but then you're getting f4, and you're just pinned. You're gonna get the piece back, and it's a very tough position for black, but it requires black to be very, very precise, because after all, it's like move 14, and white has a knight on c6. His knight is almost worth a rook, but okay. Black didn't venture into those complicated ones and instead played bishop to b7. Oh, and it's important to note that black can't really move the rook, because these are the only places it can move to, because he's getting a 4. For example, rook a7, knight c6, queen b6, we have an exchange win for white. Then he simply goes with the bishop back, maybe, and white is just better. So we have the bishop blocking, we have a trade here, and now black's pieces are very much not doing anything. So white just goes in, just seizes the initiative. Now black accepts this opening of files, because now after knight b to c5, he gets a little bit of initiative back. Now, Emory Tate plays rook a3, not rook a1, because one day he might have dreams of sliding the rook all the way across to allow for a kingside attack. He's gonna get mad, believe me. Anyways, black proceeded with queen to b6, putting pressure on this. If the bishop were to move, then queen takes b2, and uh-oh, you're losing one of these pieces. Not good. Okay, we're not doing that. Tate just castles his king, and Yudasin says, okay, I'm gonna work on the same. Tate calmly, prophylactically puts his king in the corner, not allowing any shenanigans along this diagonal, ever. But okay, it's after castles from black, we have fireworks already with b4. Another sacrifice, this time a pawn, right? It's kicking away this knight, but you can simply take it, right? No, because you have knight to c6 and we have a fork. All these pieces are protected in the triangle here, but yeah, after you move the queen, you just lose the bishop and in the game. Okay, nothing you can do. However, black is also obviously not forced to take, and in fact, he can retreat the knight, but even a little better, you can play knight a4, with the idea that however you take, you're winning back your knight in the center, and white remains in a less active position, with both these pieces on the rim doing absolutely nothing. However, white said, okay, if I'm gonna lose this knight, he's gonna die fighting. And he plays knight f5. Damaging white's structure. Okay, now you're gonna recapture. No, you're not. He plays knight f5, forking the queen and bishop. Black plays the only move, queen to d8, defending both pieces, right? And now, he's gonna recapture, right? Or take the bishop. No, he plays pawn takes f5, renewing this threat on the bishop. And black calmly plays rook to e8, defending. And now Tate is gonna recapture for sure, right? I mean, that's gonna run. No, he trusts his attacking intuition and plays queen to h5. A really daring move, okay? Because black now has an only move to make. He must realize that after g6 takes his bishop, along with this pawn formation, can easily hold back white's attacking prospects. However, he mixes up the order. Because after these trades, he can just run back with the knight and enjoy his piece. However, he didn't play g6. Instead, he ran away with the knight first. And now you don't have to time for g6. Because the rook, remember, I said rook a3. Now the rook swings to h3, putting pressure on h7 square, on h7 pawn. A very, very weak square. Now, the thing is, you can't go g6. You're just getting mated. No way that's happening. So, what can you do here? What can you do here? Black said, okay, I had all this plan. I'm going to play knight away fate. And how are you breaking through? We have another hook to Yudasin's face, just like his son was about to do a couple years later to a lot of guys. We have f6. f6. I mean, kind of trapping the bishop, looking to open some lines. This position has a ton of variations, but let's take a look. For example, if you take, you're just dead. You're gonna die. I mean, you can take, but I mean, after this, you can play this, but you're gonna get this. It's too bad to be true. So after rook g1, you have bishop g7, and maybe queen h6, threatening this. You cannot put your queen there because you have knight and queen. So you need to walk, maybe there. You maybe can even sacrifice this, because then you have rook f3, and I mean, just dying. Yeah. Oh, you actually have bishop h6. Yeah. So black is really in a sea of trouble with this g6 move. So, oh, and you actually have another line, I guess. Yeah, if you sacrifice here, you give back material to try to keep this pawn structure intact, and play something like rook e5, then actually, why does this check? And if you move the king, the queen just gets here and you just die. So you would have to take the knight and go into this another very bad position where you're down an exchange against a very, very active white army. So that is a big no-no from black. And so he decided to capture this knight, seeing the potential it had. So after knight takes d5, we have another punch because Tate has the option to capture this bishop. But no, he's not here for the fucking bishop. He's here for the big boy king himself. And he decides to play pawn takes g7, aiming to get this defender of the h7 pawn. Because if he does, this would just be checkmate, right? The king would have nowhere to go. So black is almost forced to take the pawn. But now, we only had two pieces that weren't doing anything. One of them is the bishop. Comes to b2, checking the black's king. Goes back to g7, to g8, sorry. And now how is white breaking through? g6. Another punch to the face. However you take this pawn, you're screwed. I mean, here you just have mate. If you take the other way, you lose the knight. It's a very, very ugly position. Getting maiden every way. I mean, it's just very bad. Okay, so oh, and you can even take it with the knight. Yeah, of course, but that even leads to a queen sacrifice, and the bishop covers important with the g7 square. And yeah, so after this and d6, you need to do something. If you don't do anything about this, you're just getting mated. So we must fight for the diagonal. Pretty much only move. And now Tate has this option, which he goes for, of taking the pawn. at f7. We check for the king and the rook. And after the king sidesteps to the corner, Tate is gonna regain material and fight his position, right? Fuck, hell no. If goes rook g1, going for mate once again. And just check it out. You cannot defend this square. Like, never. Because if you take the knight, you lose protection of h7. So, Wax is gonna resign? No, he also keeps fighting. He finds rook e1, deflecting white's rook from going to his beloved g8 square. Now, he has to take, otherwise white would lose all the steam of his attack. Now, black also removes one of white's best attackers, the bishop on b2. But now the rook cannot go into g8. Sure, it just goes into e8, no problem. And now this is very tricky. He's trying to pin the knight to give a checkmate here. And so, black just plays knight f6, attacking the queen, defending the checkmate. However, Tate now just starts collecting, because after rook takes queen, you have to take the rook, because if you try to take the queen, white simply takes the other rook, and both knights are under attack. You lose. So, black takes the rook, and he wished he could move twice, right? But that's not how chess works. And after queen h6, black finally resigns this amazing game, because rook g3 is coming, and you cannot stop the mate threats. This. You have to take the knight out, but then everything is found. I mean, a sample line would be, pretty much rook g3 is the idea in all the lines, but for example, knight 8 to d7, you have rook g3, and now you must remove this knight to guard the g7 square, for example, knight to d5, but then you have the sacrifice, rook to g7, to g8, rook g8, promoting to queen, and now queen to e6 finishes the game in style, forking the 3 black pieces. And yeah, it's really just over after queen h6, and Andrew Tate's dad wins a brilliant attacking game. Really, very surprising game. But that's it for now, guys. I hope I can bring more chess games soon, analysis wise, and I don't know, I might bring one more game of Tate, because he really deserved it. I don't think he gets the recognition he deserves. And yeah, see you guys soon then. Bye.